Welcome. In front of me I have the new OnePlus 13, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick look at the device and also its specifications. So jumping straight into it, let's just cut the seals. There we go. Oops. I guess we're back to never settle, kind of catchphrase right here. Now inside here we get our charging cable type A to type C, which is pretty nice considering probably if you have a charger you most likely have an old charger that is still a type A charger. Now below that we have the phone itself, and that's about it. Okay. So you can probably see there's not much in the box outside of obviously the device. There we go. Oh, that was some strong haptic feedback. So let's start off with the display, which should be visible fully in just a moment. Now this is a 6.8-inch display with a resolution of 1440 by 3168 pixels. So it's a 1440p display. It's a LTPO AMOLED display, 1 billion colors, 120 Hz refresh rate, Dolby Vision, HDR10+ certification, HDR Vivid, and a peak brightness of a whopping 4500 nits. It also boasts a 510, that's what I meant to say, 510 pixels per inch and a 90.7% screen to body ratio, covered with a Corner Gorilla Glass, and yeah, that's basically everything that there is to the display. It is by all means a great display right here. Now if we flip it over to the back, we have a triple camera setup, and the main sensor, which I guess could be said about all of them, because all of them are 50 megapixel. We have f1.6 aperture wide sensor, f2.6 periscope telephoto, and f2.0 ultra wide 120 degree. And with those cameras you can record videos at 8K up to 30 frames, and 4K gets you 60 frames max, and 1080p obviously 60 with slow motion up to 480 frames per second. Then at the front in the hole punch camera we have a 32 megapixel f2.4 aperture wide sensor, 4K 60, 1080p also 60. So camera wise obviously phone is pretty decked out. Now if we move over to the internals, considering the device hasn't really changed in terms of size compared to the other generations of OnePlus, what changed is the battery type in here. This is the silicone, what was it? Can't really remember what the composition right here was, but something silicone. So because of that, OnePlus is able to mash in here a much bigger battery, being a 6000 milliamps, compared to the typical 5000 that you'd most certainly have at the very kind of best. And it is able to be charged at 100 watts wired, and it does 50 watts wirelessly. So you can also charge it wirelessly if you have even a capable wireless charger that does 50 watts. Let's be honest, 50 watts is faster than what any kind of Samsung device charges with a cable, because they're too scared that they're gonna start exploding. If you can't do fast charging like that at 2025 Samsung, you shouldn't really be selling phones. And for some reason Samsung just can't seem to figure out how to do batteries that don't explode. In any case, these ones, as far as I can tell, there was no mentions of batteries exploding in people's hands and stuff like that, or earbuds in their ear. So obviously much safer device compared to Samsung. Now when it comes onto the internals right here, also we have a Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, which is the newest Snapdragon, and we're starting off with whopping 12 gigs of RAM. That's the lowest end you can go for. And with 12 gigs of RAM you also get 256 gigs of storage. So keep in mind there is no expandable storage right here, so we do have just a, where's my little tool? Oh, there we go. So we do have, I presume, just a dual SIM tray. Yep. so back and front. 256, 12 gigs of RAM, and you can spec it up all the way to 1 terabyte of storage and 24 gigabytes of storage. Now, all of these options come with UFS 4.0 storage type, so yeah, pretty decent kind of device right here, with the option for you to spec it out pretty high. Now, reality is, do you need 24 gigabytes of RAM on an Android device? Probably not. I would say 12 gigs is sufficient enough to get you through basically anything that you need it for. Anything else is just absolute overkill. I used to rock a Fold 4, which, if I remember correctly, that came with 12 gigs of RAM. And that device was designed specifically for multitasking, and never did I feel like I'm out of RAM. So with multitasking capability of something like a folded device and 12 gigs of RAM still being enough, I don't think you're gonna need more than that on here. So if you're on the fence, probably just go for the lower one, as it's going to save you some money, as that's one of the ways manufacturers do just completely skim you out of your money when it comes down to storages and RAM. Storage being the more aggressive ones, where you basically pay double than it's worth. So anyway, a last thing to mention here is the Android. So this is running obviously the newest Android 15, and it will get up to 4 major Android upgrades. It's also covered with the Oxygen OS 15, which is the skin for Android. And yeah, that's basically everything that there is to this device. One last thing to mention will be the price tag, and this device obviously won't be cheap. It comes at about $1,000, so it is at that flagship price. And it honestly does kind of show that it's a flagship. Everything here is very good. So with that being said, hopefully you found this very helpful, and if you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.